almost flawless execution on the open there, but I left out Sean, and I don't know what happened to our guest. There he is. Chase is back with us. Welcome back to the Player's Edge, everybody. As you
How's it
can
going,
see,
guys?
Hi.
we got the Jockey Chase Miller joining us from Churchill Downs. Chase, how are you tonight?
Doing good, Buzz. How you?
We're doing all right.
How you
Got a
doing?
little bit of a spotty cell phone connection with you, so be patient with us, folks. Hopefully, his signal will kick in a little bit better. Also joined by my English racing partner, Royal Ascot Tom. Tom, did you miss me?
Oh, absolutely. Boy, it's been 8.5 hours.
Yeah, it's been.
And
Yes,
you've been working like a dog.
Well, I've been spending more time with you lately than my family. At least you changed your shirt, man. I got the same smelly thing on, but it's not the Rolling Stones shirt from the earlier in the week.
Oh, I upgraded. I've got a Long Acres shirt on. That really should date me.
Oh, yeah.
It should indeed. And then Terry's another one that doesn't need any dating. Terry, how are you? How have you been this week? Tell us all about your winners.
Yeah, I've been really good. Well, I did my handicap pick of the day one today, paid 8 something, so that's not bad. But yeah, it's been a good week. I've actually not been making any bets, but that's okay. I'm waiting.
All right, well, we're going to be making some bets tonight for sure. And then we got, as always with us, the man that does everything around here behind the scenes and on camera, Swiss Army Sean. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Ready to go, and it's my turn to hit a pick 4 this week.
Yeah, well, you're due, right?
Yeah, definitely do.
This is the gambler's fallacy, baby. He's due.
I think I've lost 1 race each time, and that's all it takes in these picks for what we always talk about.
Yeah, that's the terrible thing about pick 4. So you had a really nice article up about Chase. If you haven't seen it, everybody, run on over to Horse Racing Radar. Sean and Chase did an excellent interview. Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about that and it introduces us to Chase.
So Chase, I found, he won his first race 2 weeks ago from tonight. And then on Sunday, while I was scoring the contest at Horse Racing Radar, he came in second with 2 big long shots. And he was a name I stacked in that, hey, start using him, you're going to get value. And then I looked up his story, reached out to him and set up the interview. And we talked for 50 minutes, and it could have been longer. Real fun guy to talk to, and he's got a bright future.
But you had a lot of fun transcribing that, didn't you?
Yeah, that part, yeah. 50-minute phone, 6 hours to put together.
Yes, and in a 30-second read, right? It's the horrible thing. If you haven't done it, folks, you have no idea how that is. Sean's exactly right. Think about roller coaster, busy 4th of July weekend at your favorite amusement park. You're in line forever. You get on, you get off, and that's basically what that's like. So, Chase, horse racing's in the family business, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about growing up in the business of horse racing.
Well, I was born in Gainesville, Florida. My dad pinhooked horses in Ocala for himself. And
are you a Gator guy?
I like the orange and blue. I don't mind the Gators colors. I don't really have a college team, man. I guess I maybe UK, I guess. But yeah, he pinhooked and he moved to Kentucky and he started training for Silverton Hill and had interest in horses ever since a little kid, and then was introduced to the racetrack, and I mean, it just took off from there. It's hard not to fall in love with horse racing, especially Churchill Downs and how prestigious it is. And yeah, just always been around it. Every summer, every time I got out of school and stuff, I was always around it.
All right, fantastic. So in terms of being a jockey, being kind of new on the scene, that means you're going to have to get more out of the horses than some of the previous jockeys did. You find that to be the case?
Yeah, I definitely watch see a lot of those older guys too. They give me tips and tricks and kind of tell me about the horses, but usually replays and stuff, and being able to communicate with those trainers. They're very supportive, but being able to communicate with those trainers a few days before the race and just kind of having good chemistry and they know the horses more than we do, so they work with them every day. So I trust their word and just try to do everything that they ask and what they want.
Yeah, it sounds good. Tom, what's on your mind?
I was going to ask Chase if you wanted to pick a quality from another jockey that you worked with or whatever. Would you? What kind of quality or racing style would you like to pick from that person? And do you have somebody in mind?
Absolutely. Probably a Rod Ortiz. I think a Rod Ortiz is I've always watched really when he became real relevant. I started paying attention to him a lot, especially on the turf, and I think Mike Smith was always notorious for that left hand, but I think Arad definitely has him beat on that, and I think Arad just rides horses perfectly, and I think he does a fantastic job.
He's got a good left hand from what I've seen on YouTube off the horse too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How about you, Terry? What's on your mind, my man?
Hi, how are you doing, Chase? I was wondering who's a trainer other than your dad that you like to ride with or would like to in the future ride?
I think Mike Maker does a fantastic job, especially claiming horses and moving them up. His horses are always competitive and always seem to be up close and always seem to be finely tuned. And I think Mike does a fantastic job. And Brad and all the big guys, man. I love to ride for all the big guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the big guys come the big horses and the big checks. I mean, that's really why we're in it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, you keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to make it.
Yeah,
you get there.
Yep, day by day.
Yep,
absolutely. The absolute number one sports cliche, but so true, right? Take it day by day for sure. Mm-hmm. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to take it race by race, and Chase is going to freestyle here with us a little bit. He doesn't even have a program, he says. So
Sean emailed me a racing form. So if I could pull that up while we're on here, I'm sorry about that. I didn't even think about bringing a program home.
Oh, that's all right. I kind of like the freestyle approach because it's just a little backdrop on that. Tom and I have been doing the Royal Ascot races over in England.
Oh, nice.
And we've been putting a lot of work in them. So day one, you couldn't tell we put any work in.
Yeah.
Day two, we did pretty good, especially Tom. Day three, that was today. I had one trifecta, and outside of that, we couldn't even agree on horses for Thursday. There was one race. Was it 8 horses in the field, Tom?
Yeah. And
we made 7 selections. We made 7 selections, and we picked 7 different horses. We didn't pick overlap on one. So
0.
Preparation is overrated for sure.
But I will say one thing: we won't have to worry about seeing fields split to 2 sides of the track.
Try to watch the replay today of a race. I don't know what race it was, but that is very interesting how they do that over there.
Well, those are the better places to run.
Yeah.
The way the track's playing right now, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Either want to be on the far side or you want to be on the grandstand side.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me like a NASCAR
horses. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's nutty to see them break off into 2 packs. One's speed and one's kind of closing in. It looks like a race at Daytona if you ever watch NASCAR.
It makes the commentating interesting.
Yeah. And plus they don't have like we have the aprons that are colored and the horses leave from the same stall. They just I don't know, they put them in like a ping pong ball for lottery and say, you're going in, you're number 7, but you're going in number 13. You're number 2, but you're going in number 8. And for me watching it, I have no idea who's coming from where. So I'm just listening to the commentator for my horses' names. And
unfortunately,
I haven't heard enough of their names over the last couple of days, but now we're back on our turf, baby. So
yeah, I just wait till the race is almost over and then I see who's in front. So
well, I wait till they just post it official, and they don't disqualify horses. Even if you run the other horse off the track, you don't get DQ'd, which is kind of, I mean, if you had that ability, man, it would be easy to win races, wouldn't it, Chase?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, let's see if we can win some races. We're here to pick the pick 4 at Churchill Downs. That's going to start in race number 8. It's a 6.5 furlong race, claiming $50,000 $50,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetimes, 6.5 furlongs on the main track. From your experience there racing and riding, 6.5 furlongs. Are we looking for speed? Are we looking for inside horses, outside horses? Chase, what are we looking for?
I think mostly, I think right now, especially the last probably week or so, speed is really held. I don't think the extra 16th of a mile is going to hurt horses that are out on the front end. I'm looking right now. I'd be looking at horses that are going to be no more than 2 or 3 lengths off of it, going 6.5. I think speed's definitely holding, especially riding it today. Speed's definitely holding.
Speed, any post position bias that you felt today? Like, is there a particular lane you want to see your horse in?
You're not going to get upset if you're right there on the rail. So, I don't think on the rail or maybe 4 off of it is a pretty good track right now.
That's where the track going to be. All right. Well, let's start with you, Tom. Race number 8. Who are you picking and why?
I started out. I took number 8, Pirate Rock, dropping in class down to 50. Has really raced against better horses than most of the other rest of this field, and is a front runner, but can't keep it together. So I think they're looking for the right level this horse belongs at, and I really believe that it's going to take the lead and it's not going to look back. And number 11, Silver Ratio, I threw in there. It's faced better at Oaklawn and Gulfstream. Ran in an optional claimer. Did okay, not great race. Last race, he had some issues with getting out of the starting gate. He was the last one, and he never looked like he was in that race at all. And I just think this is a better distance for him, and I do like the rider change to David Cabrera. Mm-hmm. My final selection is number 5, Asara. Drops last time out, ran second. Nice race. Was not made a wide bid, but couldn't get to that leader, and the leader won by 4 lengths.
Top pedigree score in that race too.
Yeah, and I think it needed that race at that level, and I don't think the little extra distance would hurt this horse either. So, looking forward at depending on the level they want to run this horse at, I can see this running at 7 furlongs or a mile without too much trouble.
Okay. How about you, Terry? We haven't heard from you in a while. Tom has been hogging up all the time with me Monday through Friday.
That's all right. Yeah, I like the number 2, Extreme Force. He's performed well at today's distance and has a good trainer-jockey combination who's really been hot the last 14 days. There out of 15 combinations of racing. They won 4, second 5 times, and third once. And he has the highest average money won per race of all the entries. Then I like number 7, a long shot, West Warpath. He had trouble in his last race and still finished a good second. He is going up in class, but has finished 75% of the time in the money in his short career. He's only had 4 races, but who really knows how good he could be. And then I like number 5, Asar. Will be closing from deep. He returns to the class where he ran a good second last time out at Churchill Downs. And then I like Tom's number 1 pick, number 8, Private Rick. He drops in class for this contest, and he'll be going to the lead. And if he's not pressured, he could go all the way. So anyway, I think that he will go out front with several other horses, and the number 2, Extreme Force, will stay close to the pace and catch the leaders down the stretch. Number 5 and number 7 will close from deep and get in the exotics.
I felt like you were going to stop at 3 horses there. Did you get that? I'm saying, no way. Tom is going, and Terry's only going 3 horses in the first leg of a pick 4. Did you feel that way too, Sean? I was like, you really going to stop after 3? He's going to put all in here somewhere.
Well, yeah, I was going to say sometimes he'll just start with all, but he didn't start with all, so we were at least safe there.
Well,
he
would go all if he could, though.
Yeah, well, this today's races you could go all to all, but that's too much money.
Mm-hmm. And not for the guys who can pay $50,000 for horses. Sean, you can't pick them all, but which ones are you picking?
I'm going to sound pretty much like Tom here. I have the 8, 5, and 11. So I've seen as many as 4 horses that could go to the front right away. The 1 Soros, 4 Top Gunner, 6 He's a Babe, and then the 8 Pirate Rick, which I think gets the lead ultimately. And one of my best angles I like is he's dropping in class and has speed. So when you play soft, when you face softer and you got speed, really dangerous. And like Chase said, speed is dangerous at Churchill. Then the 5 I played, even though he's a closer, because if those 4 horses do get in a speed duel, the 5's going to be the beneficiary. You get the high jockey trainer combo of Gaffleon Maker. Loves the track, 2 starts, 1 win in a second, and going from a route to a sprint, an angle of Michael Maker hits at 22%. I like the 11 Silver Ratio dropping in class. He has only 4 starts, but he does have a win and got a 3rd, and this would be his first time at Churchill. He has some late piece numbers as well. I don't expect him to be as far back as the 5, but another one that could benefit from a speed bull.
All right. For me, I like the 5 horse. I like the pedigree there. Beaten favorite last out. Top jockey trainer combination probably in the pack. Then I'm going with number 11. That horse is also dropping, one of the best speed figures last time out. Good jockey there. Number 8 is my 3rd pick. And that's a horse that has the fastest quarter in the last 10 races, has put together the fastest early quarter of all of them. So it's a horse that could get out to the lead and then not give it up. And finally, number 2 is my 4th pick. I'm going to go 4 deep in the first leg. I felt the inner Terry come out when I was doing the pick 4 today. So I'm going 5, 11, 8, and 2. Have you had a chance to really take a look at the past performance there as you're kind of fading in and out? Chase, who do you like?
I keep closing in. I keep closing to look at my apps to look over these races. Don't have a chance to. If we skip this race right now, I'm gonna try to have something in front of me to look over these races. So I'm gonna skip this race right now, and we'll hop back on the next one, and I'll get some in front of me. Okay.
Well, the good news is we put everything up on the website too. So we're gonna put so we'll have your picks. We'll put them in there, and then everybody will be able to see them online. So head on over to Horse Racing Radar. Sean will tweet it out, Facebook it out, socialize it, and then you'll find all the picks there. So now we're going to move off to race number 9. So make sure we're going to start with Terry here on race number 9 to see what his likes are, and then we'll finish up with Chase. We'll give him some time to get his selections together for race number 9. So fire away, Mr. Terry. What you got in race number 9?
Well, I've got 5 horses here I like, and the first one is Stand Tall. He came within a head of having a perfect year this year. And she didn't give up last race. She dug in really hard and was just beat. She's been proving every race, and I see that continuing. And then I like Lake's.
What number is Stand Tall there, Terry?
1A.
1A. Okay, fantastic.
Okay, and then I like number 5, Lake Lucerne. Won her last race at Gulfstream Park. She has done well since coming to the USA, and will be closing from deep. And then I like number 7, Enjoy It While You Can, closes with a rush, and today will be no different than that. During the year, she has finished in the money 100% of the time, winning 25% of those entries. And then number 8, 3 Flamingos, drops back down in class for today's race where she can be competitive. She has a high percentage trainer jockey combination and has one of the highest last race speed ratings in the race. And then I like number 4, Take Charge Row. Won her last race at Churchill, showing a big improvement in her second race after a 3-month break. During her career, she has finished in the money 71% of the time, and she's won 29% of those entries. And I think the 1A, Stand Tall, and number 8 will go to the lead and try to go all the way. I think number 4, Take Charge Row, will be a mid-pack and close to try to catch the leaders. Number 7, New Heat, and number 5, Lake Lucerne, will close from deep to try to get the win, but I expect number 1A, Stand Tall, will hold on for the win.
1A is a Tom type horse, but we'll get to Tom in a minute with that 15-1 morning line. Sean, you got any 15-1 shots here? You're going 5 deep like Terry?
No, I'm gonna go 4 deep. Looked to me like only 2 horses wanted the lead here. Number 6, Golden Curl, and number 8, 3 Flamingos, and then I see the 4, Take Charge Row, sit right off them. I like the 8. Another speed horse, this same type of angle, another speed horse that's going to face softer here. And then I also don't see as many horses going for the lead here. Cuts back in distance from last race. Returns to 1 mile and 1/8, which she won at 2 starts ago. It's been off for almost 2 months. Trainer Cherry DeVoe hits at 17% with that kind of layoff. And then I use number 5, Lake Lucerne. Won her last start, which was just her second start in the U.S., and we always talk about that. Usually they need 1 start. She got that 1 start. The second start, she comes back, wins. That start was at Churchill, so she'll be closing from deep. Not as big of a – we can talk to Chase about it. I don't think it's as big of a deal on turf as it is on dirt closing. Number 7, enjoy it while we can. This horse has been really good lately. Last 4 races, won one, lost by a neck, a nose, and a half a length. It has a great jockey trainer combo with Gaffley and Maker. And then I did use number 4, Take Charge Row. Again, going to be close to the pace. Moves up in class, but has 1, 2 of 3, and then 1 win at Churchill and 2 starts. She's been in the exact in 4 of 6 races on the turf, and of those 6 races, only lost 1 by more than a length.
All right. So it sounds good. I have a lot of overlap with you there, but you're going to find out in a minute. I did pull out my inner Terry. Tom, how about you? What you got cooking, Tom?
Well, Terry and I are kind of on the same wavelength, but I took the 1 horse first course. I was dropping in this race from running in a minor stakes race. She was checked hard during that race. I think she lost all chance there. My biggest concern with her is a 1.8 miles long enough for her. This is the kind of horse that looks like she wants more distance. Not that 1.8 miles is short, but it's certainly something that I have to think about. But I'm still going to put her on top. I really think this is going to be a cavalry charge when they come down the stretch. And my feeling was that number 8, 3 Flamingos, is going to Brian Hernandez is going to try to steal this race. He's going to employ 1 or 2 strategies in my mind. One, he's going to go for the lead and slow the pace down and then reserve everything he can with that horse. Or he's going to pull out and go out by about 4 or 5 lengths and let him come after him. And if he's got enough horse left, the cavalry will be coming, but they're not going to catch him. The 9 horse was a little intriguing for me because I think she's ready to run a big race. She backed out a little in her last race, but she was still moving. She was moving well. She's tried great at Stakes Company, and that hasn't been a really good thing. So maybe this is a much better spot for her to get a chance to hit the board. Mm-hmm. I want to mention one that's on the also eligible list, number 13, Pythoness. One of those horses that I always like to watch, especially in the fillies and mares, is looks like she's finally figured out how to race. She's been battling around at maiden races for a while, and then finally popped up and won one at Tampa, and came right back and won a $20,000 optional claimer at Arlington, and she looked really good in that race. So if she gets into this race, I think she's got a good chance. Her issues for me, she's got starting gate problems, but the last 2 that hasn't hurt her. She does like to wait a little bit and then gets going out. I still think she'll have problems in the gate if she draws into this field. She's got a great chance of getting her 3rd straight win, and I think the fitness level of her is proven to me by that 46 flat breezing at Arlington just the other day.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I like the 5 horse. Last race, second time here in the international on the U.S. coming in from England. So it kind of makes me nervous that Tom doesn't have like Luke Serene, but that comment on the last race was in hand. Didn't even put maximum effort in at the end. I expect that you're going to see this horse be even better this time out than last time out. It's a horse that has a top pedigree score. Like I said, won the last race by a big margin, and really strong trainer in Brendan Walsh, who at the start of this Churchill meet is just kicking some rear end, winning 15 of 48 for over 30% hit rate. I also backed it up with the 4, the 7, the 11, and the 8. So there's a lot of crossover. Really not much to add to what some of you guys said about those other horses. You've had a little time to look at it, Chase. Where are you coming at us in race number 9?
Race number 9. I'm looking at that's 1.5 miles on the grass, correct?
It's 1.8 miles on the grass. Yep.
And we're looking at Friday, correct?
Saturday.
Saturday. I'm so sorry, guys. Race number 9. I got it right here. Hold on one moment.
Well, all you got to do is follow my picks. Like I said, I channeled my inner Terry. Went 5 deep. You don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Forget Sean. Forget Terry. Forget Tom.
Yeah, I'm looking at kind of looking at Brian Lynch with the 4-horse. Take Charge Row. Get Strayden on. Again, Brendan Walsh and Julian, they link up, and they're Brendan's been doing a great job on the turf, and so I do like the 5. I do like the 4, and you can't go wrong with Gaffleon and Mike Maker. I mean, Gaffleon, he really gets to pick. He probably got 8 phone calls for this race, and he kind of gets to pick who he wants. So I'm gonna go 7 on top. I think Brendan Walsh will also be in there, so I'm gonna go probably 7-5-4.
7-5-4. Fantastic. And we put a lot of effort into it, and he's going to beat us all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
That's how it always works, right? I go golfing, and I'll have a 6-foot putt, and I'll put the ball down, and I'll read it, look at the green, and I'll hit it 4 feet past, and then I'll just be, God damn it, and then I'll just walk up to it. As I'm walking up to it, look, kind of eyeball the hole and eyeball the ball, and then just kind of backhand the ball with my putter, and it goes straight in. And I can't understand how that. I should put them all like that. Just walk up like Brooks Koepka and whack them. But anyway, we're going to move on to the race number 10, which is the stakes race on the card, right? It is the Roxelana Overnight Stakes, 6.5 furlongs. So again, we're back to speed in this particular spot. We're going to start with Sean, and we had a little bit of pre-race debate before we came on the show here, a little bit of pre-race debate as to how this race is going to play out. I said, well, maybe you can single it. There's only 2 horses, and that was quickly corrected by Terry. No, you can't take that one. You got to take this other one. So apparently there's 3 horses in this field. So let's find out who those 3 horses are, starting with Sean.
Yeah, so I would expect the one, She's Majestic, and number 3, 4 Graces to go out for the lead. I think the number 3, 4 Graces is going to end up with the lead, and then the rest will sit well behind. The 4 Bells to 1's going to be last. And what we talked about was, even though she's a good horse and she may win this, I do not like playing dead closers in the 6-horse field. So I took number 3, 4 Graces. I think she's going to have the pace advantage here. She's won 2 of 3 at Churchill. The other race being a second. Record with Julien Laperoux is really good, with only 1 bad race being the last one 8 months ago. Overall, with Laperoux, has won 4 of 6 races with a second. And then I used number 5 Sconson, has won 3 of 5 at Churchill with a second. Got a victory last start with having Tyler Gaffleon aboard and going 6 furlongs for the first time. Both things return again today, or Saturday. And jockey distance the same. I went 3-5 and threw out the 4.
All right, 3-5, and he threw out the 4. And then I think we're going to go next to Tom. I don't know if Tom threw out anybody. He kind of kept his cards during the little pre-show debate. So it's time to reveal your cards, Tom.
Actually, the 4 is my single in this race. She missed by 3/4 of a length in her first race at Keeneland, and then she was off slowly in her last race. She made ground up, but not enough. The reason why I really think she's ready for a good effort is she's worked really well. 47-1, 46-3, 46 flat, 46-2. She doesn't generally work that fast. So they're looking to put a little speed in her, and they knew what size this field was.
And where is she stabled at?
I think she's in Churchill.
Churchill?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
she's been
good
training
size.
at Churchill now.
She's been training at Churchill, so I don't think she's
since
on
the beginning of May.
I don't think she's on the training track. I think she's on the main track.
No, those are impressive works. Yeah.
And the other thing that always, Wisconsin's won a grade 3, but not anything better than that. She's won a grade 1, and she beat this horse named Serengeti Empress, who's won a few races.
Yeah,
did pretty well for Tom Amos. So, they kept her in training, and I think they're looking for bigger things out of her. Breeders' Cup would be in my mind with them. And I really think with those works, she's sitting on a big race.
Those aren't the kind of works of a horse that's going to be in the back of the pack, right?
They're looking for something out of her.
Chase is over there shaking his head going, no, that horse is not going to be in the back of the pack.
No.
And while you were going through all those stats, I was keeping my eye on Terry. And Terry had that look on his face like, oh, what did I miss? And he's back in the data right there. I saw it for sure. So
I missed those workouts.
Yeah,
those just jumped out at me on the page. I mean, and she hadn't done anything like that in a long time.
All right, Terry. Now here's your chance.
I went with 5 Sconson. She blew everybody away in the last race.
Mm-hmm.
She's never won a grade 1. She's only won grade 2 and grade 3. It's really interesting. This is an overnight stakes race, right? And we've got really quality horses in here.
For sure.
So, I mean, these are some decent horses. I mean, really, when you think about it, Bell's the one who's dropping in class. So is Sconson. But I had to throw another one in there, and I decided, well, let's go with that one that's been winning on the all-weather and the turf, tries the dirt. She makes a strong big and loses by a head. Well, that was Mrs. Mozak at number 2. She drew the 11 posts in that race. She went out to the leaders. She made the lead and then couldn't hold it. I'm thinking maybe she really is a dirt horse. And they're just figuring that out. So this may be a little place to get a nice price on her.
A little shocker, maybe. All right, Terry, here's your chance.
Yeah.
I know you told us before the show, so you don't get to change it now.
No, I'm not going to change it. No, I'm not going to change it. I actually like the 3 horses we've been talking about, but I'm only going to use 2 in my pick 4. And as Tom says, the 5 and the 4 drop in class, but so is the 3. So, they're all really good horses. I like number 5, Sconson, won her last race with the highest last race speed rating in this race. And then she's got Tyler Gaffleone in the irons for a second time, and I think he'll repeat like the last win. And then I like 4 Graces because I think that 4 Graces will get out to the front, cuts back in distance, which will help her early speed. She is having a good year. She's had 71% of the time she's been in the money, winning 57% of those starts. And likes Churchill Downs, she's ran there 3 times, won twice. And then I like number 4, Bell's the One. Of course, as Tom said, has won a grade 1 race, and, that's pretty darn good. During her career, she's finished 70% of the time in the money, and she's won 41% of those. I think number 1, Shield Magic, and number 3, 4 Graces, and number 6, Jungle Juice will all go to the lead. I think number 4, Bell's the One, and number 5, Sconson, will close at the end. And I think number 5, Sconson, will win the battle, outrunning number 4, Bell's to the 1 to win the race.
So I think back, and Tom and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today and discussing the Royal Ascot races and having guests on, how much we've learned from folks like Chase who have joined us. And I think back to the Kentucky Derby when we were talking to Mike Smith, and he was specifically mentioning how Churchill has kind of a different surface than a lot of other horses do, a lot of horse tracks do. And it's a little bit cuppy. And because it's a little bit cuppy, that some horses sometimes they take to the track and sometimes they don't take to the track. And those horses who take to the track tend to train well at the track. Well, I saw those same things Tom did, and I was thinking about singling the 4. Not only that I think that those workouts were good, but when these 2 hooked up, Sconson and Bell's the One in the Breeders' Cup, they were kind of both in the back of the pack with Bell's the One behind Sconson, and yet in 7 furlongs was able to pass her. So they kind of got in the same – they were basically in the same place, about 10 lengths off the leader. That tells me Bell's the One has a little bit stronger legs late. So if they're side by side, Bell's the One's going to pass. I don't think they're going to be side by side. Those workouts don't say to me this is a horse that's going to go to the back and then try to rush. This tells me that Bell's the One's going to be much closer to the front. And if she can maintain the late pace figures that she has, this race might not be close. That's the way I think it could play out. So I'm going to go with the 4 and the 5 in my pick 4, just because I don't want to get beat by either one. And get knocked out in the fourth leg. But I do agree with the 3 horse getting up to the lead and maybe having a chance to wire the field if the pace is slow. I don't think Bell's the One's going to let them get away with a slow pace based upon those works. And if you want a long shot, I went with the 6, Jungle Juice. I figure that horse is as good as the 1. It'll probably be close to the 3 and in the pace figures. Late pace figures are just as close. Ran one really good race at Churchill that it won. Why not do it again and take the longest odds on the board to fill out your exotics? Jace, you've had a chance to look at race number 10. You've heard all of the nonsense that's come from us. What do you like?
Well, I think it's a rider's race. I think think it's going to be pretty tight packed. The one advantage that Tyler has on the 5 is he kind of gets to see what those 2 favorites on the inside are going to do. I think all those riders kind of have the mindset that speed is holding, and so I think Tyler's on the best horse. I think he's going to kind of see what Corey does and what Julian does, and I don't think there's too much to worry about with the 6. I think Tyler's just gonna kind of sit off and see what the 4 and the 3 are gonna do, and you can be strategic, but if the track's playing a certain way, you kind of have no choice but to play the ball as it lies. So I'm going to go with the 5. I think the 5 is I think she's much the class in this race. I'm going to go 5-4. I think the 4 is going to hold on, but I think Tyler's probably going to catch this horse inside the 16th pole or so. So I'm going to go 5-4. Maybe the 6 will come up and get a couple, maybe run third, pick up the pieces off of a hot pace. But yeah, I'm going to go 5-4-6 probably.
5-4-6. Someone agree with me on the long shot. I like that. Great minds, as they say. Notice you and I are the only ones that had that. So
yeah.
All right. So now we're going to close out the pick 4 with the most important leg always in the pick 4. And that, of course, is the last leg. And that's race number 9. This is a maiden $100,000 race. And it's a pretty deep field here with some also entries. I think if they got into the race, I got a feeling we might hear from Tom regarding some of them. If not, absolutely, you're going to hear from me in regards to them. So we're going to start with you, Tom, see if indeed I'm right that you have some liking for some of these horses that have to get their way into the race.
No, I didn't.
I don't know you so well then.
See, you set it all up and I blew you away.
Got smacked down.
I do like outside horses.
Dating years.
Yeah, well, I like the outside horses, but not the ones that are on the AE list. My top choice is number 12, Fine Cotton. She lost her first 2 races by big margins. So what does Neil Preston do? He's going to add blinkers to her, and she's going to make her work a little more. And I think she's on a big effort with those works. 47 flat, 47 flat, 47 and 1 are the best published works she's ever had. So they're definitely looking for speed out of here. And she's not a cheap purchase at $450,000 at Keeneland. She's by Curlin. Well, nothing's cheap when you get a Curlin horse. And she should love the turf. I mean, a lot of Curlins have done very well on it. The outside post, is a little concerning in a sprint turf, but James Graham, who's really riding well, has got the mount, and she's worked well enough to win, and I think she's going to be right there. My next choice was number 11, Path Q. Pathy Q. I don't know.
Yeah, we're big on pronunciations. Get it right.
Yeah, well, it's a first time starter, so I'm just acting the same way, I guess. Philip Bauer worked well, 49-4, a minute out of the starting gate at 5 furlongs, 59-3, 47-1. I like those. Another $450,000 purchase. Uncle Mo and the Dam was a stakes winner in her own right, and this is her first foal, so we don't know anything beyond this. Mm-hmm. I think that could be a real good horse coming up. And then I took another first timer from a trainer who is just getting started. Glenn Winsmere, I know absolutely nothing about. Mm-hmm. So I'm going on what I'm seeing here, being that some decent work, especially that 47 flat from the starting gate, I thought was really impressive. She's by Upstart, who's really beginning to show that he can drop some nice horses. And the Dam was a winner on the turf, and her only foal is also a winner on the turf. So based on that, I'd like to see what she can do here. And some of the ones that have run haven't shown me a lot. Fine Cotton hasn't shown me a lot either, but I think they're priming her for a nice effort.
So Rico Ace Drop says that your first pick's too wide, but you're spot on with the Uncle Mo horse.
So, you never know, right?
You never do know. All right, then Terry, what do you got?
Well, this is another wide open race, and of course, for me, it would be an all race if I was really going to play it. But for this purposes, there's 5 horses that I like here. I like number 1, Miner's Queen. Has a small edge with this wide open event. Stephen Asmussen trains and jockey Ricardo Santana rides. And that's a really good jockey trainer combination. The cutback in distance can only help her. And then Music App is out of a dam, which has produced 4 winners out of 7 runners, one of them winning on the turf. She ran a good second last time out, and she can stay on top in this shorter distance probably. And then number 7, Honorably, is trying for turf for the first time, but her breeding suggests that she will do just fine. She showed a big improvement in her last race running second. Then I like number 12, Tom's horse, Fine Cotton. Had trouble in her last race and has a jockey change to James Graham, who's been hot, as Tom said. He's had out of the last 14 mounts, he's won 5 of those, ran second twice and third once. She has a really good 47 breezing work. She was 7th out of 141 works that day in preparation for this race. And then I like number 13, if it gets in. Nova Ben is turf speed is the fastest among today's starters. And she's back to the distance where she ran a fast closing second, only losing by half a length. And another one that, if gets in, is number 14, which is Megan's Clara. She's been in the money 60% of her starts. Out of 10 starts, she's had 3 seconds and 3/3.
So Terry's the one that goes with all the alternative entries. Maybe Sean has a few in here too. Sean, tell us who you like to close out your pick 4, because you said it's your week. So we're all
it is my week. I looked at the also eligibles. I didn't throw them in. I see the number 1 Miner's Queen. Yeah, might be. Number 1 Miner's Queen, number 6 Music App, and number 10 Fiat Blue go to the lead here. Whoever gets the lead might be the winner in this short race. I went with the number 1 Miner's Queen. I like that this horse's career debut came on turf. She showed speed in that race. And then after that, she switched to dirt for 4 races. So she matured now going back to the turf. Gets the rail, should show speed. Santana's been hot lately all over the place and been a good turf rider.
He's been winning.
Her last 2 races were her best of her career, finishing 2nd and 4th. I used the number 6 Music App, has speed, and is now racing her shortest race at 5.5 furlongs. And she has some turf breeding in her. And then number 7, Honorably. This horse should just be off those 3 speed horses. So if they hook up, we'll be in a good spot. Just ran this distance and finished 2nd. First time on turf, and again, breeding suggests she may like it. And then I used number 10 Fiat Blue. Showed some speed in both turf starts going long. Now she cuts back in distance and hopefully lasts a little bit longer.
So me, I like 5 horses, but I'm only going to bet 3 in my pick 4, depending upon if some horses scratch in. So my top pick is the 7 horse, no matter what, Honorably. The horse ran pretty well last time out on the wet track, and I think that's usually a pretty good indication of how a horse is going to run on a turf course. Showed some, I think, didn't really show speed, but didn't really get too far behind the leaders. And I feel like she has enough late energy to go ahead and close that race out. It was a big field last time out, so a little bit less, well, be used to it. Breeding says they like it. But for me, if the 15 gets in, I almost wanted to single that horse. I've been working on these, what I call alpha scores, where I look at these high win percentage angles. And one that's popped up a few times and has hit pretty regularly is horses that last race speed figure was above par for this level of a race. The 15 horse is the only race in this field that has that above par ranking. So if the 15 gets in, that's my second pick. Then I also like the 13. If neither one of them gets in, I'm going 7, 8, and 1. Chase, it's the last race. You're going to bring us home strong and close it out. You said you were a patient rider, so we're going to give you a chance to close this out in a winning way.
Yes, sir. I like the 1. I think Santana and Asmussen, they're a great combination. I think the 1 hole, he gets to save some ground. Santana can really, he's so aggressive, and I think he can get this horse out of the gates, get him up front, and cut the corner pretty nicely. Also a horse, I haven't really gotten to look at the past performances, but a trainer that kind of shows up randomly, but his horses run really well, is the 4-horse with Brett Calhoun. He gets Best Skits on him, and Best Skits has been doing a great job on the turf. I believe he won a couple today on the grass. It might have just been one on the grass, but definitely like the one on top. I like the one hole. I like the cutback and distance. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one on top. I'll throw the 4 in there as well, but I'm probably gonna do 174.
174.
Yeah, will probably be my picks.
Yeah, I was looking at that 4-horse too. Was decently bet in its debut, and that was another race that got taken off the grass, and then got off to a bad start. So I don't know that Adam ever really tried to get the horse back into it. Kind of just started 7th and just kind of stayed about the same distance and then backed off a little bit as the race went on. So I don't think he really used much of the 4-horse. That was my first horse that didn't make my ticket. So I like the 4-horse as well. Well, Chase, it's definitely been fun having you on the show. If folks want to follow along with you in your career, where can they find you?
At Chase Miller on Facebook, obviously. Jockey Chase Miller on Instagram, and that's about it. I have a Twitter. I don't even know the name on my Twitter, but but give me on Facebook. Facebook's pretty easy. The name's right below, and that's about it. But it is a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for having me on, and yeah, thank you guys.
No problem. We're following your career, and we certainly hope that good things work out for you. Sean, we've made a little bit of socializing changes, so tell everybody where they can find us now.
So, Horse Racing Radar, as you see the logo right there. I'm actually sporting the shirt too. You can buy this on Facebook as well. Horse Racing Radar on Facebook, and at Racing Radar on Twitter. Or you can just search Horse Racing Radar on Twitter as well, and you'll find us.
Yeah, I don't have any Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or anything. I don't know. It just never appealed to me. So Sean handles it, and I keep telling him, "Hey, Sean, we're going to get together one day this week, and we're going to put it together." Hey, Sean, and so far, it's like my motivation for that has been zero. Kind of like my hits at the Royal Ascot today.
You've been spending all your time with Tom, so
yes, indeed.
Yeah, people are talking too. It's really getting bad.
Well, speaking to Tom, we'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. To wrap up the final day of the Royal Ascot. We were hitting on the good day on the even days and missing on the odd days, so we're going to have to change that up for Saturday. And then Sean and I will be getting together tomorrow night to discuss in depth the San Juan Capistrano at Santa Anita. So make sure you check in for that. What is that, at like 9 o'clock Eastern?
9 o'clock Eastern. Yep,
that's the time we're rolling with that one. All right, of course. Sean will put all that on the social sites, so make sure you keep track of that. One last thing, too, if you're at Horse Racing Radar, make sure you enter the contest. 3 contests this week, but there's some changes, so you can become a member now and get some gold coins and start to see what Tom's picking, what Terry's picking, what everybody else is picking, so that you can kind of plot your way through those contests and maybe give yourself a better chance to win. All right, folks, that's it for this week's show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully Sean lives up to his word and hits the pick 4. Until we see you next time, good luck at the races.